of our hearts are heavy that we have a large delegation that'll be heading to China shortly, and I want to say on that issue that, you know, I think Germany points the way for us in terms of how we should be dealing with these issues. Trade that Germany has with China goes up probably every year, but Angela Merkel is not afraid to go ahead and talk about human rights and to point out the espionage and various things that the Communist Chinese government does. And I think that is the right model to go with. I know that there are many in our country, in Canada here, who are concerned about making sure that wheat or oil or various things are sold to China. I would argue that the communist dictators in Beijing will buy our wheat and our oil regardless of whether or not we call attention to their human rights abuses or not. So I hope that many of our colleagues, many of the members of parliament who head over there will not be shy, and they will call attention to these things, and it needs to be done. So I'm very heartened to see you here today. I was very heartened a couple of days ago to see our Falun Gong protesters here, and I say yet again that it is so important. You know, every single one of these voices opposed to what goes on with regard to Communist China, if they're one voice unto themselves, they may suffer in vain. But if you have a multiplicity of these voices gathered and speaking a common language or sharing a common frustration, like when we had so many different people gather here months ago when this grass was green under that enough gathering that we had where we spelt out those words. I think that is the key. You know, whether it's the Falun Gongers, the people who want to see a democracy in Hong Kong, whether it's the people in Japan who face gunboat diplomacy, the people in Taiwan who want to be independent and maintain their independence from mainland China. You know, obviously the Tibetan community, you're one of the, I think, most mature of these groups, and so therefore I look to you for leadership with regard to some of these things. Falun Gong will be crucial because they are, in a sense, the backbone within inside China standing up to that regime. But, you know, whether it's the monks in Burma, there are so many different groups, the Uyghurs in the western desert regions, all these groups need to come together. The people who oppose the Maoist rebels in Nepal, etc., all of these groups need to work together to call attention to the abuses by Communist China. And it is through coordinating all those groups that we can hope to bring an end to the regime in Beijing. And so I say to you, work together with all those other people because there is strength in numbers, and that is what will bring a change. And at some point, I know we have these immolations that are happening. We have these occupations of the temples and the persecution of the monks in Tibet. I say to you, you know, there will come a time. China is a fragile, brittle regime that cracks down and doesn't allow for any freedoms. It is not a flexible regime. There will come a time when, because of that, and because of fuel shortages, and because of people traveling back to visit their families over a new year, and because of an uprising in Burma, and because of this, that, and the other thing, all happening at a similar time, they will not have the resources to stamp out all of those things at the same time. And that is when you will see that regime crumble. And so, like I say, I'm heartened to have you here today. I'm honored to be able to speak to you. And, you know, we call out and we speak today for those who can't, who, if they did this in Tibet or any number of other places, would be persecuted and tossed into detention and jails. And so we speak all the much louder because we can, here in Canada, draw attention to these things that they cannot say, and if they do, they are tossed into jail. So thank you very much, my friends, and we shall carry on. Bless you.
Thank you.